Minister James Marape appeals to larger APEC economies. Central Province Agro and Tourism Show ended today. And Gordon's youth unite to end petty crimes. Good evening and welcome. This is Sunday's News. I'm Kilawani. Prime Minister James Marape has appealed to larger APEC economies to find a balance between managing the COVID-19 pandemic and sustaining the world economy. Speaking during a recent informal retreat of APEC leaders, PM Marape raised concerns on how the pandemic is affecting small island nations in the region.
Since the World Health Organization declared the coronavirus as a global pandemic, this has not only affected many lives, but also the world economy. Speaking during a video conference amongst APEC leaders, PM Marape raised concerns on how small island nations are managing their economy. He says nations like PNG and other Pacific Island countries are at a disadvantage as the pandemic has restricted global trade, something these countries are heavily dependent on.
We are totally dependent on export. We are totally dependent on border opening up. We are totally dependent on trade and commerce. We are totally dependent on free flow of tourists, for instance, and I speak for Fiji, I speak for the small 15 other Pacific Island nations. They are stuck in high seas, totally exposed to COVID-19-induced economic contraction, totally exposed to climate change-induced sea level rise, the weather changing patterns. So we're living in an unprecedented world.
The PM says this situation will force small economies into a mad rush to sell their natural resources. And for PNG, the PM says he needs all the money he can get to sustain the economy. He also highlighted the need to develop a health sector for all small island nations that can withstand another pandemic in the future.
I want money to finance my budget. My people need to be alive. They need to be supported in as far as health budget is concerned. And talk about health budget, my budget is only 5% is only geared towards supporting health infrastructure, health services. And with the COVID hesitancy experienced by my country, we are now shifting focus to not just vaccination, but building up health capacities to ensure that if COVID-19 is over and done with, maybe the next pandemic, our health system is able to handle the pandemic that breaks out into the future.
The PM ended his session with an appeal that challenged the APEC economies to find a win-win solution for sustainability in this pandemic.
Let me put to you an appeal. What you face in your countries, you can maybe sustain and handle the travesty of COVID-19. But small economies like Papua New Guinea, but much smaller economies, especially the small island states, they are totally exposed. At these sort of conversations, esteemed leaders, Prime Minister Jacinta, through you, my sister, an appeal needs to be made. We must find a balance between talking about vaccination, talking about ensuring that our people are healthy, as well as keeping economies alive, keeping borders and trade going in between APEC economies as well as bilateral economies.
Stanley Over Jr., National, EMTV News.
The Central Province Agro Tourism Show ended today. It was a showcase of Central Province agriculture and tourism. The show attracted business houses and visitors to the Quikila station in Rigo, Central Province, where the show was held.
The Central Province Agro Tourism Show, which ended today, was an important event for the people of Central Province, held at the Quikila station in Rigo district, which attracted business houses, financial institutions, and of course the locals, with their fresh produce from their gardens on show. Governor of Central Province Robert Agarobe told the people of Central to forget the past and use such initiatives to move Central Province forward.
We always talk about the past. Oh, we used to be the first educated people in Central Province. Now we are the last. Well, who cares? Let's talk about today. Where do we go from here into the future? Let's start stepping up.
Central Province is always seen as the food basket of Port Moresby, and Agarobe, under his leadership at the provincial level, has embarked on having the agricultural produce of the people of Central Province processed for the city residents and also for export.
The challenge now comes back to all our people. Open up your land. The incentive in the land is, like I said, you don't have to worry about looking for a market. We will buy all the food you are selling, and we will go and process it at Bautama, where a new farmers market will be established, and then we will distribute it into the city. But in that way, we're also preparing for the export market.
Financial literacy and savings was also the highlight of the show, with farmers having the financial information right at their doorstep. The Women's Microbank was present, also allowing locals the chance to open up accounts for savings and the hope for loans.
So we are here for people, grassroots people, informal sector, and if you're doing any informal business, you don't have any account, the business account or informal account, or if you want to open your individual accounts, we will be here to assist you. And also, Women's Microbank will open accounts for kids also, and we also have a IBD drive or term deposit drive is going on. Just open your account only with 40 kinat. 20 kinat basta balance beliau, startup balance beliau. You get your passbook. You don't need to go to Port Moresby to get your passbook. You come to Port Moresby to do your savings only. So it's just easy for you. Everything just come to your doorstep, so you just bank at your doorstep. So yeah, that's something good also. That's so bring also.
Felix Sukina, National EMTV News.
Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, E.C. Henry Leonard, launched the Cariwina Cultural Festival this week in Milne Bay Province, the first time for the event to be hosted in the province. With the province more popularly known for hosting the Milamala Festival, the minister launched the event to enable more cultural events as part of the Tourism Promotion Authority's plans going forward for tourism in Papua New Guinea post-COVID-19.
The Cariwina Cultural Festival was launched on Wednesday this week at Cariwina Secondary School, whilst other activities such as traditional dance performances were held at Losuya Station. Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister E.C. Henry Leonard officially launched the event for the first time, also signing an MOU between event organisers and the PNG Tourism Promotion Authority, as well as the National Cultural Commission, enabling the event to continue to be hosted into the future as a recognised one.
Yes, we can do a lot of things to take the PNG, but the most important and underlying principle that we must now move forward and to embrace is to take back our culture.
The tourism sector has been the hardest hit among other sectors of PNG's economy and in other parts of the world with the onset of COVID-19. However, Minister Leonard says there is still great potential for the tourism sector and there are major plans put in place for post-COVID-19 pandemic.
If we do it right, we as a country have the potential to create 800 different cultural events, festivals and so, and we can open our doors wider than before to the international tourism market post-COVID-19 and going forward. As a ministry, we have already taken on challenge to prepare Papua New Guinea for post-COVID-19. I am proud to inform you all that Papua New Guinea Tourism Promotion Authority will soon launch the PNG Tourism Master Plan 2021 to 2025. And it incorporates, or its corporate plan, and the Papua New Guinea National Cultural Commission has already finalized Papua New Guinea's first ever cultural policy document.
Chairlady of the Milne Bay Tourism Bureau, Genevieve Igara Falevai, highlighted some unique features of Cariwina during the festival event.
I ask myself this question: why would anyone come to Cariwina? After all, tourism is about wanting to go and visit a new place. Did you know that out of 13 of Milne Bay's best things to see, 7 of them are here in Cariwina?
She said Milne Bay does not only have the natural beauty in terms of white sandy beaches and beautiful flora and fauna, but also the richness in the culture of the people.
When you ask someone in PNG outside of Milne Bay, what is Milne Bay? They will tell you, Marape, Trobriand Islands, tapioca dance. Yesterday, as we flew in, I didn't know what to expect. It's my first time to your district. But after just one night here, I can tell you why someone will want to come to Cariwina.
Minister Leonard pledged funding of 50,000 kina to Cariwina Secondary School to assist them in promoting cultural activities into the future.
I would like to pledge to the school from TPI will contribute 50,000 kina to support this school. And because this is the first event in Muhlenberg that we are now promoting under my ministry and my sector heads are here.
Dennis Orere, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. When we come back, we bring you tonight's A Closer Look. Stay with us. Welcome back. The recently concluded joint supervisory body meeting in Enga province between the autonomous Bougainville government and the national government of Papua New Guinea ended with both parties agreeing to a roadmap to a final political settlement in the year 2027. The roadmap has several indicators which both parties need to resolve before 2027. Bougainville wants independence, but the PNG government says there has to be a nationwide consultation and amendments to the constitution to allow for any final political settlement.
It is always a patriotic moment having to hear the national anthem of your country. That is always the nationalistic scene that plays out in any democratic diplomatic caucus. Amidst the all-rise national anthem of Papua New Guinea by primary school students at the Enga Teachers College, two parties faced each other in the hope of a resolution to a long-standing issue, the secession of Bougainville as an independent nation. Bougainville's desire for independence is a long-standing issue. Even before Papua New Guinea became an independent sovereign nation, on September 16, 1975, the then Bougainville Provincial Assembly announced a unilateral declaration of independence, a UDI, under the Republic of North Solomons on September 1, 1975. Obviously, that didn't get recognition, but it stands in history as one of the moves made to separate from the colonial powers. Colonial powers had Bougainville annexed between Germany and Britain until Australian rule in the early 1900s. Bougainville always had plans for secession from the colonial powers. The idea for secession also fueled the 10-year civil war on the island. Since the ceasefire and the signing of the Bougainville Peace Agreement in 2001, autonomy had been achieved, weapons disposal and the referendum vote. The recently concluded joint supervisory body meeting, a joint government consultation on various issues which will determine a political settlement for the autonomous region of Bougainville, was held in Enga province and saw both parties agreeing to a roadmap, a timeline of sorts, with a deadline as 2027. The roadmap has several key indicators which must be achieved by both parties if there is to be a positive outcome for Bougainville. Most see it as independence looming in 2027, but Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea James Marape said the 2027 date is the proposed date by the autonomous Bougainville government and that the PNG government has accepted the date as a tentative one.
I understand that 97.7% of Bougainvilleans wish for independence, and having said this, I want the Bougainvilleans to take back to Bougainville. This roadmap will then pave the way for us to work towards whatever is the final political outcome. Bougainvilleans want independence. Papua New Guineans are finding every conceivable way under the sun to say, we are brothers, let's remain together. We're happy that we've engaged in this so that we maintain peace and secure peace by peaceful means and finding a lasting solution going forward.
The PNG government kept using the term political settlement, which in their case refers to a final agreed outcome for the benefit of both Papua New Guinea and the autonomous region of Bougainville.
The roadmap, we will do our best endeavors to ensure it is progressed, and hopefully towards the later part of this timeline, in the 2021-2022 to 2027 period in the 11th Parliament that I alluded to earlier this morning, we could see a light at the end of the tunnel for whatever political settlement it is for its independence. And if National Parliament approves on our side, as per the 2001 peace agreement, then it will be independence. But whatever it is, conversation that is meant for the oncoming years, I will reserve at this juncture. And let us go to work. And I wholeheartedly endorse the roadmap that both sides has put forward and for us to sign today, signaling the way we will work towards achieving the outcome that is mutually beneficial for all.
The autonomous Bougainville President Ismail Toroama said in his opening speech of the second post-referendum consultations that independence has always been the final ultimatum for Bougainville.
The independence word is in the Bougainville Peace Agreement. The independence word in the amendment made to the PNG Constitution, and the independence word was made available in the referendum option. The independent word was jointly defined as sovereignty, and the independence word becomes majority result. It is against the spirit of Bougainville Peace Agreement in the amendments in the PNG Constitution now to bury the independence word at this later hour of our journey.
But Prime Minister Marape says that the word independence was used as a referendum choice. It does not mean that the PNG government has automatically agreed to that move.
To the greater PNG, as well as to Bougainville, this is not a new creation that the Honorable Ismail Toroama and Honorable or myself have created. The consultation is clearly defined in the 2001 peace agreement. And so we only honoring the intent and the spirit of the 2001 peace agreement. Having said this, Mr. President, I want to also throw in a caveat. Anything over and above the Bougainville peace agreement, the 2001 peace agreement, as I said earlier, we will have to consult the greater country, and we will have to ensure that the necessary legal amendments or requirements are being fulfilled, and especially our constitutional amendments that needs to be done to ensure we move into the space that you envisage and as you stated.
During the first post-referendum joint consultations in Kokopo, the two leaders jointly committed to ensuring that the constitutional process is guided by the principles of the Bougainville Peace Agreement. Ratifying Bougainville's independence is the next process, and that is what the two governments are working on, to consult on the definition and process of ratification. Also to identify constitutional issues relating to the referendum result and the tabling.
The referendum result is therefore also a jointly owned outcome. The immediate task remaining ahead of us is the ratification of the consultation outcome through a jointly agreed and owned ratification procedure. According to the Bougainville Peace Agreement, it is the outcome of the consultation that gets ratified by the PNG Parliament. Parliament is not at liberty to ratify anything else outside of the consultation outcomes.
The team from Bougainville came prepared, tabling a compromise date of 2027 as the date of Bougainville independence. It is early days, but many say Bougainville is certain that all can be achieved in the coming years in preparation for independence.
Honorable Prime Minister, we believe it is timely that we start visioning a new relationship between Papua New Guinea and Bougainville. When Bougainville gets independence, it will gain independence from a Melanesian brother and not from a colonial master. With the economic potential for Bougainville, this can only lead to a stronger Melanesian solidarity between the two countries within the wider Melanesian group.
But a political settlement can only happen for Bougainville when all parliamentary processes have been complied with, which Papua New Guinea Prime Minister James Marape says must include a nationwide consultation and constitutional amendments reflecting the result of the consultations.
First and foremost, Mr. President, and Bougainville and Papua New Guinea is to consolidate the rest of PNG together so that no one entertains the thought of referendum that involves succession or independence. Secondly and foremost is the aspect where in between these periods that we have outlaid as the post-referendum consultation period going forward, we are establishing a roadmap where we'll also engage in consultation and constitutional amendment to give the legal basis for the independence of Bougainville if it is sought to happen.
President of Bougainville Ismail Torama told the gathered that Bougainville is ready to take part in a nationwide consultation for the benefit of a positive result.
We will never leave anyone aside but to make sure that we make everyone understand of this process. That includes the people of Papua New Guinea and the people of Bougainville.
So the pathway to a political settlement for Bougainville is clear, set by an agreed roadmap, with continued consultations on the horizon towards the final outcome in 2027. Papua New Guinea's concern has always been the national unity, as mentioned more than often by the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea. A nationwide consultation and amendments to the Constitution and the ratification process still needs to happen. Both parties are still working on workable solutions, but having to agree to a timeline which includes set indicators gives hope to both Papua New Guinea and Bougainville of reaching a final settlement on Bougainville independence.
Our country was secured at the back of consultation in the early 70s and at the back of the formation of our constitution in the early 70s until 1975 when we became a sovereign state. To unbundle that sovereign state as we are today requires almost the same process.
I am pleased that we have come to agree upon certain issues, noting those issues are contentious, and noting once again that there must be a breakthrough despite of all the agreements that we have signed.
For the people of Bougainville, the 97.7% referendum landslide vote for independence is an indicator that independence is inevitable for the region. The only way forward now is to have the support of Papua New Guinea. Bougainville also still needs to economically support itself and also improve its public service machinery and provide positive outcomes towards the date of 2027.
An equally important track is for us to build your administration, build your system of governance, and build the economic independence environment of Bougainville, so that whenever it is we reach a final political settlement of Bougainville, then our sister, our brother, is standing on his good feet.
EMTV News continues with more stories after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Seva Cooperative Society, consisting of women from two villages, Vaivai and Senunu along Magi Highway, was launched recently by Kairukuhiri MP Peter Isoaimo. As part of the launching, MP Isoaimo also presented them with 10,000 kina to help the women for seed capital to apply for SME loans or other funding in their agricultural business endeavors and for resource mobilization.
Despite Vaivai village being in Kairukuhiri electorate and Senunu being under Rigo district, Kairukuhiri MP Peter Isoaimo is still happy to continue supporting the Seva Cooperative Society as part of his ongoing assistance for women farmers in the electorate. And the women from the Seva Cooperative Society appreciated the launching as it is something they have been hopeful for over years.
In 2017, time me pla when the election na come inside, me bungi mo all geta members blo me na me toki mall. Gaman you not give him 1 plus something down nothing unless you me making 1 plus something. Kiss him certificate or a group that you can form him law. Kiss him some plus something law gamen.
Bringing their produce to the market has been a challenge for the women farmers, given the cost of ploughing the land by a tractor is not always affordable for the women, they say. Herokaya is one of the women that pioneered the Seva Cooperative Society in 2017 after going through the challenges.
Me plagat tractor stop but lo plough garden side. It's 25 kina for a meter. Me plus some time no transport lo go down. We have perishable items like popo, ibika, all these things are perishable items. So we walk from the inland down. Now you can look at me plus sanaplo road, saluti go some time kaikeblo me plus abagaraplo road.
Marape has initiated rice farming and milling projects in the Macau area of the electorate and wants to help women in Seva Cooperative Society to also get into rice farming as well as other types of commercial farming activities.
When you clear the bush, please just tell me to come down. I'll do a field inspection and then I will help train you women or youths to plant rice, and we can have a rice mill machine which we ask member to give us 1 rice mill machine to be here, and we can mill your rice and we can package it. We know how to do that.
You must grab sanaplo to plan luck you. You know not planning 1 plan member, 1 kind of this plan member, all sisters now, all mothers, Mila talking you plan. And 1 plan great leader and sanaplo I blame me today and by funding come down. In salo this plan wait that's all by you grow, so please don't give up, no can lose me plan.
Other similar assistance for women groups have been done in the Kairukuhiri electorate in recent months.
Specifically for one reason being to bring about agriculture development to sustain their livelihoods. As member, I'm supporting cooperative societies right across the electorate in ensuring at every luncheon like today, we commit them some seed capital funding. For these ones here, we've committed 10,000 kina today to mobilize themselves.
Access to government funding by rural farmers is a struggle for many, and MP Isoaimo aims to ease that burden to help people sustain themselves in his electorate.
To tap on the big government SME facilities like the Trade and Commerce Department for cooperative societies, and looking to accessing some of the funding under Department of Agriculture through the current controversial price stabilization.
Dennis Orere, National EMTV News.
Youths from Gordon's suburb in the nation's capital have taken the initiative to start a community watch association. The association, called the Gordon's Youth Association, mainly stands around the notorious area, the Gordon's bus stop. The association started on Monday and has been operating for 5 days now.
Gordon's bus stop is known as one of the hotspot areas where the rate of petty crime is high. Youths living in the area have taken a bold step to start a community watch association. The Gordon's Youth Association was initiated this week by concerned residents who wants to restore peace and normalcy in the suburb.
We are sick and tired of this kind of things. So we want to try to erase that name, notorious, into safe community and safe market in Gordon's.
Community leader William Yogomin says despite the positive step taken by the youths, there are still challenges.
Everything you want to start good, you will have challenges. Couple of clan fights we stopped. Orderly way, told them to go to the police station. To domestic, we stopped, told them to go to or rang the police to come, shut them out. So every little thing, there's always a challenge there.
Mori Kegana, who has been living in Gordon's for over 30 years, has witnessed petty crimes happening over the years. She commended the youths for taking this step, saying criminal activities must stop.
We want all this rubbish coming up here in Gordon's, and we need a change for the better. So our boys must not be implicated for rubbish coming from all over the city. The settlers occupying illegally occupying state land coming and giving problem to Gordon's. We need it for last. This is the final. Let them do their work to remove these people.
Meanwhile, Yogomin is urging other residents living in Gordon's to be part of this association for a better community.
If you have negative about if you're negative about what we are doing, might as well come down and join us, see the positive side of our life. We are doing best, and we're doing better than if you sit in your ass or sit down on your ass and do nothing. Nothing will happen. Get up and come help us. I advise all the parents living in barracks, Sharks 5, wherever, Jabiru, come down and help.
Porivai, National EMTV News.
A 44-year-old mother and her family of bees, husband Benjamin and children Benissa, Burley and Bevan, have built their house from cocoa earnings. Bernice Kumis, a nursing officer in Tinputs, North Bougainville, is proof that financial literacy is a key factor to improving living standards.
Bernice Cummins, a mother of 3, is excited about the additional knowledge she was taught by Care International. Knowledge on financial literacy, on the areas of budgeting and savings, and making equitable savings decisions. Living in the autonomous region of Bougainville, Bernice has worked as a nursing officer for close to 2 decades now. But the financial breakthrough came after she attended the training provided by Care International. After acquiring helpful tips from the Coco family training, Bernice supported her husband, a subsistence farmer, who became a carpenter. Bernice and Benjamin started developing their cocoa block, and from the sale of their produce, built their new home. Seeing positive results from the Coco family training, the couple are now training others in their community. This financial training, conducted by Care International, is supported by the Australian and New Zealand governments through the Bougainville Partnership. Since its inception, more than 1,300 women in Bougainville have gone through the training and are now making better financial decisions. Thaklagunga, National EMTV News.
Trukai Sports is next. Details after the break. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The There is less than 100 days to go before the kickoff to the Rugby League World Cup. The PNG LNG Kumuls and the Oil Search PNG Orchids are set to go with PNG RFL Chairman Sandy Saka, making mention that the two national teams will leave the shores of Papua New Guinea in October for the World Cup.
The PNG LNG Kumuls going into the 2021 World Cup are currently ranked 6th in the world. So the boys are not going into make up the numbers in the tournament. The boys are going in for the win. So after last World Cup that was played at this beautiful stadium and in Melbourne, the team made the quarterfinal. We are hoping that they will do better. So on behalf of everybody, I think I say I wish the boys, the PNG LNG Kumuls, all the best for the 2021 World Cup. Our girls, the Oil Search PNG Orchids going into the World Cup are ranked 4th in the world. So the girls are again going in not to make up the numbers. They're going in to win the tournament. So on behalf of all the Rugby League family across PNG, let's wish the girls and the boys, the Kumuls and the Orchids, the best for this tournament. Both our boys and girls will be traveling to Sydney together to quarantine in Australia for 6 to 8 weeks before they fly out of Australia on a charter on the 14th of October.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather report for the next 24 hours coming up next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. Southern region, Port Moresby and Popondetta mostly fine. Daru and Kerema partly cloudy with patchy drizzles. Alotau mostly fine. In the Momase region, Lae few showers then cloudy morning. Madang partly cloudy with brief showers. Wewak possible overnight showers and thunderstorms. Vanimo rain showers and possible thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, few showers then partly cloudy. Kavieng partly cloudy with some early morning brief showers. Kokopo and Rabaul partly cloudy with brief morning showers. Buka and Kimbe partly cloudy. In the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka and Kundiawa, patchy rain drizzles then morning fog. Mendi and Wabeg, rain showers, drizzles then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And that's the news, sport and weather for today, Sunday, the 18th of July 2021. Pleasant viewing, be safe, bye for now.